Okay, guys, this video here is for the people of the Herons Fountain, the followers of the Herons Fountain. This is a video that's after the guy who had the problem solved explanation for the Herons Fountain, where he has the pink water and he says it's the problem solved. I've read most of the comments and a lot of the comments. I tried making the fountain or reproducing it myself as the guy, the Munchausen guy, whatever his name is. You know, he must have like a motor inside of his pink water or whatever. I did replicate that fountain as well as I could. I spent at least a couple $100 trying to do so, to be honest. And what my results were that the fountain would send the water all the way back up to the very top, but it would not come back out of the fountain as it's supposed to. It would only level out to where the same level where you put the water in, it would be level there. So basically, if you had your fountain tube coming out level with the input tube, water would come right to there, and that was it. So you were just like a nip away from it coming out and being a fountain, which was very discouraging. I read everyone's comments. Very discouraging thing, because we want to see the fountain work. We want to, we know Huron's fountain works when you have it stacked up on top of each other. The problem is that it runs out of water. It'll run out of water, and then it shoots air out for anyone who's built the fountain. So this gentleman, Munchausen, he made this idea that if you put them side by side and put a tube connecting them at the bottom, that this was the problem solved. I tried it, and I know a lot of people tried it. I read the comments. People try to do it for class experiments, and they were, a lot of people were disappointed in it. I was disappointed in it, but I tried my very best. Now, to be mad at Munchausen, I couldn't, because he gave me a thought and he gave me an idea. And what the idea was because I did try his fountain. Like I said, the water went all the way up level with the input water. Very close to working. Very discouraging. So what my idea was the thing that makes Huron's fountain work, I believe, is the fact that when it's on top of the middle chamber is on top of the bottom chamber, the gravity does have the chance to do its thing and push the water back up. It just runs out of water. There's no way to refill that tank, except for what Munchausen said. So I made a hybrid theory. Why don't we lift one of those jars, one of the two jars, raise it up midway, and connect it from the bottom of the middle jar to the mid top of the bottom jar. That would allow the water to flow, as Munchausen said, flow across and feed the second chamber. Yet it would still be lifting the second bottle up high enough to have some form of gravity, as though Huron's fountain does. So this is a hybrid theory. We raised it up and we still connected it. So what you have here is, you'll see the Sunkist bottle is the main bottle on the bottom, and it's got water. It's connecting on the bottom. It's connecting here with this tube, with my middle or my ring finger. I got a cigarette, so where my cigarette ash is at, that's the tube that connects the top of the bottom one to the bottom of the middle one, right? And that feeds water constantly across it. Plus, we still have the top, connecting chamber for the air, and the drop down tube is this one, drops down to the bottom of the Sunkist, and this blue one goes on up and comes up to our water feeder, and then it drops back down in like this. So that's the hybrid theory. So I made this, and now what happens is it works barely. Okay, I don't want to say that I've made Niagara Falls, because I haven't. It's not anything close to that. But if you look at it, you'll see the water in the tube, and it is pouring back out perpetually into my water chamber. Barely. I mean, it's, when I say it, we're not talking Niagara Falls again. We're talking about barely dripping down into it, but perpetually it stays that way. And I'm thinking that with this idea, there's no motors. I have no motors. It's a Sunkist bottle. It's clear. I have it in the sink because it's offset. I don't want to spill water everywhere. Has a couple of leaks in my design. The biggest problem is you got to make it airtight. Airtightness is the main element of the fountain that is the most discouraging. I use grommets. You can see the black grommets that I have here, up there. I used epoxy. I used all kinds of things. It's very hard to make it airtight. You need to have it airtight. The pressure in it is what's making the thing work. Again, looking at it, the water is there to the top of the chamber. You know, let's look at it sideways. Here's my water thing. So water goes into this black tube, goes this way, drops down into the sun kiss, fills it up until it reaches this connector tube. Then it pours over, and it has the water level from here to the sun kiss. The water, because of that connector tube, like Munchausen has suggested. I can't be mad at him. He gave me the idea of this hybrid theory, and this hybrid theory is a working theory. So I was upset at first too, but then when I thought of the theory and I tried it, it's working. And if people want to try it, you can expand on the idea. Either make this tube higher, longer, or this one lower. I don't know. What I did is, okay, you'll notice the tube right here is pretty big, all the way down. The tube going back up, I made it thinner. Why? Because it has less volume to fill. It's going to work its way up quicker, I think, And there it is. It's coming out of the top, Barely, but it's pouring back into the thing, creating a perpetual fountain. No motors involved. Excuse my mess. Excuse my mess. I'm real messy. I live in an RV with my dog, and so excuse the mess. But there's no motors. It's the drain. It's a sun kiss bottle. Goes all the way to the bottom. No motors. No nothing. If you go look at Munchausen on that Munchausen website, with the pink water, there's a gentleman in the comments that he asks, he says, has anyone replicated this? And you'll see one reply. That's my reply. I got on there and I replied to him about that I made it, I tried it, and I got it to where my belief is that it would only level the water out. It would not come back out. He must have a motor inside that pink water. I'm not trying to pull some kind of hoax, because I put my comment there as well. I was discouraged. I was trying the same thing, and I read everyone else's comments. So if anyone else, is back to look at the Herons fountain, this one is working. It works. It's not, it's not Niagara Falls again, but it works. So if we expand on the idea, take the idea and try different variations of it, I'm telling you right now, it's very possible to make the thing. There's the water, and it's coming out. I have a little divot on this other side of the thing that is cut in, so the water comes out. Let's get a side angle view of it. So that tube is up a little bit out of the water. The water stays like that, and in the blue tube, the water's up, and it's coming out of the other side. Barely, but it is, and it's perpetual. The water remains low here because the pressure is forcing it up the tube immediately. The water is high here so that it feeds this water and continually has water. Otherwise, we're going to get the same thing that Herons fountain does. It swallows its last gulp and it burps up a chug. It spurts like a whale, If anyone's ever made Herons fountain, it's a working fountain. We just are trying to figure out how to make it perpetual, how to get water back in. Well, this is the hybrid theory of what Heron has made and what Munchausen has suggested. So you can't be mad at Munchausen. He's given us the idea. We've just expanded and now made it a hybrid theory. So hopefully you guys can expand on it and make it work better than mine. Mine's, it's working. There's the water. It's all the way to the top. There's no gimmick here. This is true working. If anyone's made the Herons fountain, you can see that the theory is right and it works. There's no motors. It's a sun kiss bottle. I should have taken the wrapper off, but since I didn't, there's no motor in it, There's the drain. I got, it'll work, and I think if we expand on the ideas, like I said, you could raise, somehow you could raise this bottle up, the second bottle up higher. I have it right now where the sun kiss is in the sink. Up above the sink, I have the tube, the second one, and then the top chamber. It just has Munchausen, has it. I put a thing that goes down, goes this way, and drops the water. And we can make that taller. We could, make this whole thing lift up. Try different things. But the hybrid point about it is that we've raised it up to give it more gravitational flow of the water back down into it and pull off what Herons fountain did. Plus adding Munchausen's idea of connecting it so there's still air in here and it has pressure. So we didn't bring this tube all the way to the top. We put it, close to the top, but enough room to have air and connect our top-to-top chamber. And this one is connected to the bottom, so that water will always feed it and it won't run out and burp that chug. You always want it. You don't want it to burp and do the whale thing, where it's spouting out water. So hopefully you guys can make it, try it and make things, make ideas of it, expand on the ideas, try different ways of doing it, but it is working. It's working. Watch, the water's still guaranteed there. Still there, coming out of the divot on this side, barely, but it's coming out. It's Herons fountain, live and working perpetually. That's a miracle. I'm happy about it. I'm not no scientist. I live in an RV with my dog. I'm a pretty shot out guy. But I'm stoked. The ideas came to me when I was, of course I'm like a Thessalonian, or however you say. I'm into the Tesla, the perpetual things, and this is one of the ones that, when I made Heron's fountain, it worked, but it ran out of water. So I'm into the same things, and the ideas, came from Heron and from Munchausen, the Munchausen website with the pink water. You can't be mad at him. He gave us a way to fix the problem and make, but we had to make a hybrid theory between Heron and between Munchausen. So good luck to you guys. Hopefully you guys can expand on it and don't get frustrated. You guys got to really work on making it airtight. These little grommets, you can buy them at Harbor Freights or different hardware stores and use them. They make it airtight. You want to use, it's better to use thicker bottles. These, like the Sungus bottle, real flimsy, it's all bent in, it has a better chance of leaking. You want to get thicker plastics, or whatever you can get that's thicker material, and then put those grommets in and put your tubes in it. It makes it airtight, It's a simpler way to do it. But good luck to you guys. Hope you guys can do it, and hope you guys can post up your ideas of it after you guys are done. If you guys can expand on it, make it better. It's pretty cool. It's a perpetual fountain. The water's still there. As we can see, it's still there, and it's coming out of this divot on this side right there. Watch, let me put a little water. There's still room for water, as you saw. Let me add a little bit more and show you that it comes out even a little bit better. Okay, watch. Let me put some water in. Okay. A little more. Okay, now the water is all the way bubbled at the top, and you can see it pouring out of the side. My camera's not really the greatest, but trust me, it's coming out, and it'll remain that way. It's perpetual. It remains that way. The water lowers because I have leaks in my fountain. I have leaks underneath, under here somewhere. Where this tube is, where this top tube, this tube is joining this plastic container. It's got a leak, so the water pressure, it drips out and eventually starts losing its pressure. You need to have that water pressure. Watch, it's coming out as a fountain, Niagara Falls, if you will. I'm just kidding, but it's pretty good, Look at that. And it'll remain that way. I had it running, it'll remain that way perpetually. It will lower a little bit because of my leaks, but if you fix it, it'll it's not anything, again, like anything super, but if we can expand on the ideas, maybe we can make it better than what it is. So good luck to you guys. Hopefully you guys can post your videos and show some improved ideas of Heron and Munchausen, Okay, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.